never switch sides. Like even when I die, I'ma ride for the squad. Let our ties in the hearse. I've been on a vibe kinda hard to describe. I'm in between, I'm good and it's fine, but I'm tired of the grind. Then I come alive in the night to realize I'm in the middle of the time of my life. I'm never so packed for the stack, never lied on the rap. Got a bag from the way that I write it. Queen looking Tyson, through that I survived, doing 80 to the house. Then I hit it to the sky, changed haters on a tirade. Talking to their crib in the face, be still, let that hate stuff fade. We all want the same, we all want a meal in the safe. I wanna live like I'm trying to reach enlightenment. Trail spill from my lips, feel big from the bib. Take a sip till I pass out. Try and get grip, but it don't make sense. Cause you can lose life on this fast route. Yeah, turn thoughts to a cash cow. I might flip that to the glass house. I don't need the accolades, I'm in love with the chase. I just wanna eat, save a spot at the table. Beast with the slap, pin myself on the map. You long with the wind, but we knowing that it's cap. 5-hour flights, couple nights at the flat. To be real, couldn't see me making moves while I'm at. I'm still on the grind, limit time when I chat. Burning down sage, keep the demons away. When I write it, give a piece of myself to the page. I don't do it for the praise, love, that's just how I'm made.
Truth in the glass in the mirror. Yeah. Do it at me, old man, tryna pass in the fear. You're the first one to talk, but the last one to hear. Eyes blurry, but I couldn't see the ass, and he cleared down. Start to feel like I'm on one. Settle in, I'll be here for the long run. I'm a slave for the cash, got snakes in the grass, no brakes on the ad, but it's all fun. We done seen it all, heard enough, give me space before I murder y'all. 10 bad bitches here, I'ma curb them all. 12 missed calls, and I still made a curtain call. Here to light it up, lighten up. Hear him talking, they ain't right enough, tighten up. Everything that I came for, I left with. I don't bang sets, I just bang on the set list. Going past supper when I came for the breakfast. Put me in your prayers, I might put you on the guest list. Young niggas in me reckless, gold in my soul, got the same on my necklace, bitch.
All right. What's happening, Limitless fam? Welcome back to another session here. Absolute pleasure to have you here on this beautiful Wednesday. It's the midweek. We're looking flawless as always. We're gonna make sure that this will be an amazing stream full of entertainment, potential trades, and also, of course, very importantly, some education. Very important, okay? Great that you guys are here. Great that the chat is already on fire. That's a beautiful start to begin with here, so I appreciate the effort and everything that you guys are putting in. And our community is tight, but very, very active. So it's absolutely incredible to see here. Let's turn this into a beautiful stream. And as always, don't forget to smash up that like button and to share this with your friends. Post a story, whatever you can do here to grow this fantastic up-and-coming channel. All right? Amazing to see you as well here. I see Abby in the building. I see Pavel. I see Euros. I see Ricardo. I see Derek. I see Billy Joe. I see Phil Sinclair, Sean, the Crypto Noob. Shout out to the Crypto Noob. Follow him. Follow his YouTube channel. All right. Vicky. Maria Gonzalez. Thank you for the support as always. Vicky, thank you. Ahmed. Great to see you guys as always. Marton, Naboisha, the fam is back. Beautiful. We're going to look at some altcoins today. However, of course, you know, based upon the current price of Bitcoin, I also wanted to highlight that I currently have opened 2 positions here. So I have opened 2 short positions here. If you guys watched today's video I uploaded on my on this channel, it's actually the first official video I've uploaded just to give you some relevant information in regards to the Bitcoin price besides the live stream. So I think it's always nice to have something on top of it as well. So I'm really trying to put in the work on this channel right now with shorts, you know, with videos, and of course with the live stream. So make sure that you all watch everything we share. And then, you know, it's a matter of time. It's a matter of time before we get where we want to be here. So in total, position size around $15,000. I risk around $1,000 right now in these positions here. So I've opened one short position at around 44.6 and 45.7. Trying to gain like an average order if you shoot up here. And my stop loss will roughly be around the 47,000, slightly higher on average, you know, when combining both orders right here. I'm targeting the 30s, okay? I'm targeting the 40, obviously first, and then potentially even lower. But once we have reached the $40,000, of course, I've already taken some profits and secured myself completely here. So that's definitely something that's on my radar. If you want to have more information about why I think this is going to happen, I can kind of go through it regardless one more time. But you know, in essence, there are just many confluences coming together right now, and the liquidity is getting built up here. So I think it is important to also not just neglect Bitcoin and only trade altcoins. I think it's important to also look at the mother of all cryptocurrencies right here, La Madame Bitcoin. Okay, that's what we're gonna do here. So therefore, 2 positions, $1,000 risk. I mean, let's see how it goes. Okay, orders are set, and we can always wait for confirmation in regards to scaling up and trying to risk more later on, and whatever the case may be here. That comes later on. Okay. For now, Bitcoin has still been consolidating. So many, you know, different types of altcoins as well have been like following through here. Some of them have been performing well. Other ones have been just, you know, ranging a little bit here and there. Obviously, we all expected a little bit more volatility and volume, but that's something that you cannot measure, you know, beforehand. Right here, right now, the Bitcoin dominance is still coming down. It's still looking on the weaker side here, but I have marked out a new daily level, which I think is super important right here. If you look at this particular level right there, it's right around the 50.74%. And this is where I want to actually get to. I think what needs to happen in order for us to expand, and this is what I've seen many times in the past too. So I'm just sharing you some of my previous experience in regards to the consolidation ranges. When Bitcoin is consolidating longer than, let's say, 3 days, what I tend to look at are 2 different charts. Number one is the Bitcoin dominance chart, and the reason why is because the Bitcoin dominance chart right here kind of gives me, you know, that next important layer of support. What tends to happen is that when Bitcoin makes a bigger move, when it expands, it tends to bounce from an area of support on the Bitcoin dominance. So for that particular reason, let's imagine us going to the 50.74%. That's when I start to pay more attention towards the actual breakout, either up or down, whatever the case may be, or either down then up or up then down, whatever the case may be. It's about the expansion. And that usually tends to happen when the Bitcoin dominance reaches a critical area of support, because if you bounce from it, then it tends to, you know, gather that expansion that we need as well here. The other chart is what we talked about last stream as well, is the Bitcoin volatility index. And the reason why we're looking at the volatility index here is just to measure the volatility. It's very straightforward here. This is based upon the historical volatility index here. You also have the default. That's another chart I would like to talk about later on today, which is more related to the options, right? The options exchange of Bitcoin, you know, the options expiries, but that's not as relevant right now. It's more relevant at the end of the month in that manner. So the Bitcoin volatility index is what matters. I marked out this current level of 2.6. If we start breaking above the 2.6, I do think that this is when the volatility will actually increase, and therefore we might be pushing up higher. So therefore this is like a key level to look at right now. And also it's the previous high right here, right? So if you start breaking that and we close above it, we might be shooting up a bit further, and therefore the volatility will increase. And if the volatility increases, obviously the opportunities will present itself and will increase right now. It's, in my opinion, not really a smart decision to enter Bitcoin right now and to start going market order in the middle of a range here. You truly have to wait. If you're scalping on the lower time frame, I can kind of get it. But again, this is all, of course, based upon your personal strategy. Now, the next one is, of course, also what I didn't mention last time, what we talked about previously here. That's the CME gap. Okay, we have been talking about it, but we kind of have neglecting it a little bit more last couple of days here. We talked about the liquidity, you know, sitting below this particular level, around like $1 billion of liquidation, sitting below the $40,000. We talked about it why already, but at the same time, we still have that CME gap on December 2nd. So that gap right here, that caused literally that gap here on the futures, okay, the Bitcoin CME futures exchange. Okay, what tends to happen, of course, this closes on a Friday. The crypto market is 24/7. So therefore, when the market opens up again, you know, it can create a gap that depends on what happens in the weekend. So if the price expands in the weekend, then that could create that gap. That gap usually tends to get filled. There are rarely instances where CME gaps do not get filled. It happens, obviously, but there are many instances usually where it eventually will come down to go for these gaps and to fill them up here. So therefore, below the $40,000, we still have that gap. And like we said before, that's also the place where we have a tremendous amount of liquidity laying around as well here. So these are interesting things to look at, based upon, of course, the liquidation heat map as well. You know, when coming to the weekly here, one more time, just to show you guys what I'm talking about here. You know, when going all the way down here below the $42,000, yes, we have some liquidity built up, but you can see clearly that, you know, around the 43.7, all the way up to like the 40, you could say 44.6. You know, we have some serious liquidity getting built up right now. So shorters are getting into the market right now. Longers are getting into the market. This is the purpose of a range, to build as much liquidity as possible to eventually start coming and, you know, choosing a direction, taking them out, and then just, you know, making sure that, you know, a lot of people will get liquidated. As always, that's how the market drives. And, you know, in this case right now, you need to see clearly that this is happening around, you know, mainly the 44.5, 55K coming up along here, but most importantly between the 42 and you know, and 45. But we're getting a lot more shortage in the market right now as well, but the price is not coming down. The price is not dropping. Why is the price not dropping here? Well, let's have a look at the Tether dominance. I think this is an important factor to also take in consideration right now at this particular moment. We have been still holding above the 5.71%, above this range here. We came down, we're trying to hold on here, but at the same time, I truly believe, like I said in the video today, that we're still building at least some sort of distribution, you know, range here, before potentially, you know, coming back down towards this low. Like I said before, it's still the exact same bias that I had here at this current moment. So we're gonna see, and we're gonna find out, you know, sooner than later what will happen here. The confirmation is truly now laying below the 5.71%, you know, and a significant closure, you know, at least below the 5.69. That's kind of that last layer of support that we can find here. And after that, it's just pure imbalance and a nice fill up here. So, you know, what could happen still that we shoot up and that we then shoot down, coming back towards the range and then look for further continuation. Then you could say that you're creating some sort of inverted, you know, head and shoulders pattern whatsoever, you know, that could lead into continuation, that could drive Bitcoin down again. But we need that, you know, that liquidity swipe here to the downside, potentially to shoot up, you know, to gain more momentum, to then turn around in price and see how we perform from there. So that's like the main thing I'm personally looking for right now. That's the main reason why I've placed 2 limit orders short for Bitcoin. And yeah, I mean, we're just gonna see how that goes. I have, you know, definitely some faith in the 45.7, but I'm not 100% sure if you're actually gonna get there. That's kind of the reason why I'm trying to average it out here. And I said one more time, like I said before, the 44.6 is kind of that key level to take in consideration due to the fact that you have all these confluences coming together right there, you know, creating that, you know, resistance, support, resistance, you name it, over and over and over again. So it's a key level to take in consideration. You could say the 44.4, but I think it's better to also look at this particular low as well, due to the fact that we could flip that then into resistance. If we manage to still break above it, yeah, then it is what it is. Then we're going to just go towards this range. And this is then where the fixed phase volume profile comes into play, and where we want to look at, in my opinion, the value area low. That's sitting right at that level. So the value area low right here is a key level to take in consideration. That's what I want to see here. I want to see us coming back towards that zone and then selling off from there. This is going to be good for altcoins in general. Okay, this could be good for altcoins as well, due to the fact that right now the Bitcoin dominance is actually not looking that strong at all. At this specific moment, we of course have that daily level that we do have to take consideration, but there are a lot of altcoins that are actually looking really nice right now, even though, you know, we might have been consolidating with most of them as well, while Bitcoin has been consolidating as well. But again, I'm leaning more towards the upside still. My bias has not changed since Monday. It's just a matter of time and waiting for, you know, these particular factors to break out, tether dominance to break down, and then wait for that final confirmation. Now, there is one more thing I would like to show you guys today as well here. I think that's important, and that is the following. And it's actually a little trick that I like to apply here. I think you guys are, you know, a little bit ready for like the next stage here, and that is the following. That is looking and understanding, you know, the market cap as well, and then combine that with the 24-hour volume. And I will get there in a second here. But the conclusion is that there are a lot of charts, you know, based upon their market cap, that are behaving differently. So it's important to eventually gather the data of your previous trades. For example, let's imagine that you have taken a lot of different types of trades, that you also start understanding how that particular currency moves, because they all move differently. For example, what Bitcoin tends to do, just as a key example right now at this particular moment, is that Bitcoin tends to range and expand on a bigger scale, but also fractal. So when things are looking at, for example, the lower time frame, you will see the same thing happening here. Okay, so you have that range, you have that accumulation or distribution phase, you have an expansion. Boom, major expansion has been done. We're gonna go to the next one. We're right now creating an accumulation or distribution phase. We're waiting for that expansion. We also tend to trade from range to range. So that means that we're ranging from the top to the bottom, and then potentially, of course, when we're reaching the top, that we get rejected, and so on here. A key example is, for example, on the lower, you know, time frame as well here, is just simply look at what you see here. Okay, we can go through it over and over again, but this happens all the time. Okay, for example, what do we see here? Consolidation, we expand, we retrace, boom, rejection. So we traded from this range, we expanded, we started to build a liquidity, we expanded, we traded back to that range, and we got rejected. All right. Then at the next layer, we started to build somewhat of a range here. Okay. You know, it doesn't have to be symmetrical. What happened was we came back to the point of control. This is the, you know, the highlighted zone in that range, the area where the most volume is traded, and we shoot up again. Second time we tried to push it, couldn't break above it. That kept going for a while, until obviously at some point we had enough liquidity build up here to start going for all the stop losses that were built up above the highs here. So what they were doing here was just simply building more and more liquidity to the upside until it was time to go for that breakout to gather as much liquidity as possible. Then, of course, after that, what we see directly here was a nice accumulation phase or distribution phase right here. Again, consolidation, right? And then what was the target? All the people that went long here and didn't take profits. So the idea is for you also to understand always who is getting stopped out potentially here. What is the target here? What is the logical reason? Where do you think that the most liquidity is built? Where are the most stop losses built up here? Well, that's very simple. Just look at that expansion. Look where we started from. And then look, of course, where, you know, we actually, you know, positioned ourselves. So for example, this is where our guys, you know, this is where we saw that major expansion. Now, if you enter here, okay, let's just imagine that you entered right at that level right here at around $43,000, okay? then where would you put your stop loss? That's the question that you should ask yourself. Where would you put your stop loss? Well, probably around here, maybe here, maybe here, something like that. Well, the moment we saw this breakdown, okay, obviously that was like a clear target from there. But again, what happened after that? Well, a lot of people that went the opposite direction, because this is what you also have here. You start also building more long positions right here. All right. Where are their stop losses built? Well, okay, they're built below. Fantastic. But some of them are still stuck in their position. So when price pushes back up, what happens one more time? Same thing as we've seen here. Okay. Consolidation, expansion, retracement, failed to break it. Failed to break it. That kept going for a while. In this range right here, you had the chance to take, you know, just from seeing this range right there, multiple trades to the downside. All right. Yeah, this one right here, that was one beautiful trade right here. So this was one trade by far, pushing down. This was another trade right here. Okay. One more time, pushing down. You then created a new range. Consolidation, expansion, retracement. This was another trade. Push down. Same thing. Over and over and over again here. Okay. This case you saw a consolidation expansion. Here you got stopped out. It's not going to always work out. But again, when you then came back up again, boom, rejection of that range right here. So right now, if you look at the current price and you look at where we are, I think it's important to mention, same thing by the way here. We had the consolidation expansion and a retracement. Boom, that was a trade to the upside right here. Now we have this massive trade range. The weekly is looking bearish. So I'm still looking for further downside potential here. What I want to see is right now an expansion, enough liquidity building like we have done in the past right here to push us back up towards the highs and looking for that rejection. That's the reason why I'm looking for these limit orders here. Obviously, this goes hand in hand with the macro and also who everything is set up right here. So from that mentality here, this is Bitcoin's behavior. This is how Bitcoin tends to move. They tend to create a massive range on the weekly resistance here. So internally, you start looking at all these small ranges that are, you know, scattering that liquidity and then looking for an expansion right here. So that's a very simplistic way of approaching Bitcoin. It's up to you to just, you know, look at all these ranges right here and to set it up as a beautiful area of consolidation. Boom, consolidation, boom. You highlight all these ranges that you see here. All right. And of course, shorting makes more sense when you're at the macros, by the way. Therefore, same thing happens here. All these particular trade opportunities come potentially in your favor when you align this with, of course, the higher time frame as well. All right, hope that makes sense. If you understand what I mean here, then press a 1 in the chat so I know you guys get it here. But that's, for example, Bitcoin. All right. Then you, of course, have also market caps. For example, Bitcoin has an $800 billion market cap. But let's go, for example, randomly to Blur. No, it's too big. Smaller. Let's go to... Let's look at like a $20 million market cap-ish, you know, thing or something, whatever the case may be. Or $100 million, whatever. AMP. Okay. Let's just see how AMP moves here. There we go. AMP. All right. You see that with AMP, for example, right away, and this is something that I'm looking for. That if you look at AMP, for example, right now, is that with AMP, you see that these ranges that you see, these massive expansions that you see, are much more aggressive. Why? Because obviously it's easier to pump the price up off a small particular cryptocurrency right here. So when it comes down right away, you see that major expansion. Boom, this was your trade right here. But this was not like a massive range. So what you tend to wait for with AMP, and again, I see it already just by its behavior, is you want to capitalize on massive expansions. That's where the best opportunities come into play here. So, you know, that's usually what I tend to look for. This is a very shitty chart, by the way. I'm just giving you an example right now. But again, very choppy price action overall. But it makes sense, right? So again, in that sense, Bitcoin is much more reliable than trading these small caps right here. But do we take into consideration that when you look at these beautiful expansions to the upside, that what you try to look for is, you know, the shorter time span needed. You don't need to build as much liquidity for these type of, you know, currencies rather than for Bitcoin. That's why Bitcoin tends to range longer before it makes an expansion right here. So when you know it's happening, when you know it's building that range here, you know, that's where you can practically set up and look at the previous range and take advantage from it. Whereas in AMP, it's much more aggressive. You directly look at, okay, what was that major expansion here? And boom, you come back and you look at further continuation to the upside here. Of course, at this particular moment, you know, we were looking really, really strong right here. And it was a significant, you know, bullish train right there. But you got rejected from this particular high. So therefore, you know, do take that in consideration that it came back towards the weekly time frame and so on and so on here. So I want to just give you guys a couple of examples today and also talk about the behavior of each particular currency. Some of them trade similar, but I can already tell you this. The higher the market cap, the easier it is to trade when looking at, you know, these particular expansions here. So, you know, I try to understand a currency as much as I can here in order for me to, you know, look also at what kind of, you know, trade or what kind of type of trade I'm looking for. I hope that makes sense here. So for example, when you are trading and you're scrolling through like the charts right now and you're just scrolling through all of these, you know, different types of currencies and everything that we're, you know, we're looking at right here when scrolling through to your watch list, okay? At least look at also the behavior. I just wanted to take that in consideration when trading. Like look at, you know, the previous, you know, data. How is it moving? What is like the, you know, what are like the key components of this particular currency? And I think this could help you tremendously when trading, because it's easy to just look at, you know, this range and not, you know, look at all the previous data that you have before actually taking a trade, because you want to be quick. You want to, you know, act fast because you just want to get a trade going. And you want to just, you know, scroll through all these different trades and you're just like, okay, I don't see one here. I don't see one here. I don't see one. Oh, look at this. Okay, SNX right here. Fantastic. Yeah, this was a lower low. This was a higher high. I'm going to enter here. Boom. That's not the way to do it. Try to understand the bigger picture because each currency moves differently, you know, based upon the market cap, based upon the volume, and of course, based upon the narrative. But that comes all later on. All right. So with that said here, you know, that was just a quick introduction. My orders are placed, so we're going to see how that goes here. In regards to the Tether dominance, you know, we have to wait and see what the expansion will bring us here. Otherwise, it's just going to get very tricky. That's just the way it is right now at the moment. There are still some trade opportunities that I was looking for. Yesterday's stream, couple ones played out, couple ones one didn't play out, a couple ones didn't got triggered. So one, for example, is now in profit here. I'm not that happy with it, to be honest. You know, but that has to do with how we're moving here. Cardano looking not good here, so that was definitely a clear loss, or it's not stopped out yet. CRV looking good though. One was looking good here. Arbitrum stopped out right here. Power never broke the high. Not interested in this one. Axie Infinity still waiting for price to move down, so this setup is still in play here. I actually think this is a great setup still to look at, guys. I'm actually going to make a screenshot of it and share it in Discord. Why not? Let's just do that right now. Boom. Just going to keep it open. Okay. Shiba Inu, same thing right now. Still convinced in this setup here. The way we're building that liquidity, at some point we're going to break out here. So I think this is a very nice and clean setup still in play here. But again, when Bitcoin is just moving and consolidating here, you're going to see, you know, very slow movement also in many altcoins. Then of course in everyone you have thousands of them, but yeah, that's something that you cannot really control. So then you have to just go to the next stage and just keep going and waiting for the right momentum here. And then over time you start coming into the motion right now. Okay. So yeah, that's what it is for now in regards to that here. What I wanted to do was still, regardless, you know, look at a couple of setups that you guys want to look at as always here. And if you have any questions, please let me know. You guys now know exactly where we are waiting for in order to take action, in order to start, really taking a trade here. One of them is by the way, DOT, which I forgot to tell you about. Look at how we're building up right now, like crazy amount of liquidity on Polkadot right now here to the upside here. This is very, very interesting. And again, same thing as we've seen before. Look at this beautiful, aggressive expansion to the upside, then pushing back down and then building that liquidity right here. That's kind of like the 3 stages that you want to see in a cryptocurrency. And Polkadot is doing exactly that from a very, very fantastic standpoint right now. Again, same thing. Polkadot. What's the market cap of Polkadot? It's probably massive. A couple billion dollars right now. Let me quickly see it. I don't know exact. Is it like 5, 6? Is it like I don't know why I forgot about it. It's 9. Okay, $9 billion. Okay, clearly. Okay, massive. So look at this right here. You see that right here behaving? You see this range right there? Again, what happened was the consolidation, the expansion, and then what happened? You pull back. You see that, guys? You pull back towards that range, and boom, this was your fantastic trade entry right there. It's that simple. Now you see it from this angle, okay? Consolidation, expansion, retracement. Now we know that potentially Bitcoin could come up. That's the bias we have in the short term. We are building tremendous amount of liquidity. You want to come down towards that range and you want to expand towards that upside. It could be that we're going to retest that bigger range one more time. That could be therefore a very clear target right there. Okay, so that means that my entry will be at like the point of control of this range, 7.301, if I'm correct. No, 7177, my bad. 7187, stop loss at 6.799. Okay, so again, 7187 and then 6799. That's something I'm interested in right now for Polkadot here. And again, based upon that range right now. But again, consolidation, expansion, retrace that. Write it down. Consolidation, expansion, retracement. Crypto is highly sensitive, and volume is extremely important. And the way we measure volume is, of course, using the fixed volume profile or level 2 data. That's all the way up to you here. Some guys use both. I really like to use the fixed volume profile. It helps me tremendously. Sometimes I could use the bookmap to confirm, if there are actually a lot of orders placed right at that level I want to short from. That could confirm your bias if you wait for like a confirmation trade or something in that manner right here. But that's kind of like the way you should look at it. Anticipate on expansions rather than trying to enter in an expansion. That's why FOMO is just so unnecessary. We had a question yesterday about somebody that asked, like, how do you eliminate FOMO? Well, it just ruins your trading in all ways possible, because you're going to enter in the middle of an expansion. Your risk to reward is shit. There are literally no benefits from it, because it's just not sustainable. I think that, anticipating on expansions is much more sustainable, and understanding the chart itself, in this case Polkadot, is relatively similar to Bitcoin, where it consolidates, it expands, it consolidates, it expands, it comes back to this range, this one comes back to this range, and now we're coming back to this range. That's it. So I hope that makes sense here. But yeah, obviously, of course, then it comes down to, okay, how are you gonna, wait for confirmations? When are you gonna wait for the confirmations? There are, a lot of more things involved here. But that's kind of like the basic foundation. Combining this with the market sentiment, and you're getting there. You're truly getting there. And I think this could help you out tremendously right here. So Polkadot is definitely one of them. I'm going to set an alert here. This is going to be at least some sort of confirmation trade right now. And it has to do with the Tether dominance. The Tether dominance is still holding up quite nicely. Therefore, I'm waiting for the Tether dominance to give us that confirmation, or the Polkadot itself giving us that confirmation on in this case, the lower time frame as well here. Okay, thank you guys so much for the support here. We are already at currently sitting around 40 likes already, 46 people watching. That's absolutely amazing. Make sure you smash that like button right now. If you just tuned in, and if you're new completely, subscribe to our channel, join our Discord, support it. We're gonna talk about it in a second here, but this is great. Okay, Let's see what we have in the chat. We have some questions as well here. Sean says, thanks. Looking at the Bob chart yesterday, I had to go back to work, but came back and watched it. Amazing. John says, okay, look at Tia. Definitely, John, I will do that. What else do we have here for today? Anyways, do you not trade live stream or your Forex channel anymore tomorrow? FXTA says XRP. Okay. Billy Joe says Myro is interesting at major support. Bubbles performance is very strong on the monthly. The weekly, daily up 53%, which may indicate a breakthrough support here. But Bitcoin weakness may drive another up move. Okay, check out Pepe. Okay. Okay, fantastic. Beautiful. All right. Let's look at Tia. Let's see what Tia is doing right here now as well. Let's look at Tia in a second here. There we go. Didn't set an alert here? We talked about Tia, remember? We did not set an alert at Tia here. Okay. That is interesting because that was the trade. That was the perfect trade right there. Yeah, we broke the high, we pulled back, we tapped into that zone. Look how it tapped into that zone here. And, you know, sometimes it is, I should have set an alert again. Okay, so you tapped into that zone here. 14.25. And that was the expansion all the way to the upside here. So that turned into a 5-to-1 on stream. Or we talked about this. I didn't take it myself, but okay. Anyways, that was indeed that confirmation we were looking for. That internal higher high. I already remember why it was on the 4-hour. That's why it took some time. So pullback and an expansion right here. Okay. So yeah, okay. For now though, the weekly time frame is. Let me look quickly at this chart right here. Yeah, so weekly starting to flip. It's in my opinion time to calm down a little bit. We're breaking below a key level right now, so let's just clean it up. Would have been a really nice trade. We had it marked out perfectly, but right now you see that we're starting to break below a critical area of support here. So you know, this low right here, this low right here. Now we kind of have you know, around 50 seconds left for an hourly closure. So if the hourly closure is below it, then things get interesting. Because then, you know, the question is it time to come back towards, you know, this bigger range right now, which we can now highlight as well here, which is going to be the 16.3996. That's like the first level to look at. That is a roughly a 10% move to the downside. And right now with this current break and closure below, you know, it is an interesting level to look for. So let's quickly go to the 15-minute. I do not really like the way it's curving down. I would have much rather see like something like this, right? And then a closure below, to be honest. But what I can see is that we have now a lower low. So that's important. We had this high right here and we have this low right there. That low is now broken. So this high, you know, eventually gave us the confirmation towards this low. Then this was like that range. Okay, so this is now the key range to look for trades. And it's sitting in this range right here. So somewhat in that range, we could start looking for, you know, short entries towards, you know, the downside due to the fact that we have created like that lower low. So what we want to do is we're going to come up towards this range right now. Then to see if you can kind of get that confirmation. And if you do get that confirmation in the lower time frame, you know, then you can start coming down towards this level again. But most importantly, the value area high of this bigger range And then it's a question of, is that enough to build enough liquidity, to the upside right here, to then start potentially look for, again, an upwards trajectory right here, due to the fact that TIA is extremely bullish. And we're still, of course, in a bigger overall, uptrend right here when looking at the overall time frame of the market here on the higher time frame here. So therefore, that's definitely something interesting to look at, based upon, this range, that expansion, and that lower low. Hope that makes sense, John, right here, if that makes sense. So yeah, just to give you a level, an exact level or price level to really start paying attention, that is gonna be the 18.8342. And then looking at this high, which is then interesting to see here, that's, this is the high that created that expansion to the downside. This is what broke, series structure. So preferably your entry could also be at the point of control then, because then you have a really nice stop loss. Your risk reward is higher. And that could mean that you would look for something like this. And of course, you target that first, the initial support here again, or the value area high of the bigger range. That's definitely something interesting to look at. So that means, the 18.9876 stop loss at 19.2424. And because you can then beautifully put it above here, the safer option is right there. Your risk reward is still fantastic. But what if you bounce from here? Then it gets very tricky very quickly. So, maybe it's worth it to go for a much higher risk reward and just look for these type of setups right here in the market. Put your stop loss above this high right here. Something like that. All right. The closure is fantastic. And below this low here. So I hope that makes sense and I hope you understand why. And then again, you have now multiple confluences coming together. You have this particular area of consolidation expansion creating a lower low. You also have now a new trend line that's getting formed. So you also would come up in that trend line and then see a rejection from there as well. And you can also talk about, internal resistance levels. If you want to really go a little bit deeper, then you would come and look at this level as well. So you have some confluences coming along right at that level. And I think that could be, something definitely for you to look at. Make sure, this is in your favor. And then could be a nice one. Could be a nice one. Would have been a great trade here. We had everything marked out fantastically. Would have been a 5-to-1. Sometimes I just miss out the one or I forget to put alerts or whatever, especially if you go through a bunch of them on stream. But yeah, that's another lesson for me even as well, to make sure that I always highlight every single analysis here. Okay, fantastic. So what else do we have here? Bitcoin right now, yeah, it's just chilling. Okay. One more thing that I forgot to mention here, now I'm thinking about it, is the following. The volume indicator. So there we go. Let's highlight the volume here and let's go to like the 30 minute. Or you know what? Let's start here. We are, the lower the volatility gets here, the bigger the chance that we actually going to start moving along here. So I think that, leading towards the end of the week, I think the biggest chance of that breakout will be, in my opinion, roughly between tomorrow and between Friday. So somewhat between this window right here. And the main reason is, of course, the Bitcoin volatility index, but also because the Bitcoin dominance is at support here, potentially at 5.74%. So I just want to mark out, if you just tuned in, set an alert for the Bitcoin dominance at 5.74% and wait to see what happens with the Bitcoin price. Okay. Then, yeah, let's continue. Let's go over a couple more here. We have John. That's John with TIA indeed. Fantastic. Then we had XRP. All right. Limitless, you good, bro? Word around town is you tripped over your own balls and fell off a small cliff. Well, it has to be a very big cliff because of my big balls, all right? Just take that in consideration. XRP. Yeah, so yesterday, okay, we were waiting for this initial expansion right here at the 1 hour chart. So again, same thing, right? So we had this bigger range right here. We're still waiting for price to push back into the 63.26% price. Cents right here, waiting for that further continuation down. We did had already an internal trade right here on the 50-minute. So we had this fantastic range right here, fixed range form profile. Same thing happened. What did we do? Magic touch, failure area low right here. Boom. Came back up. So consolidation, expansion, retracement, rejection. But we're building right now a tremendous amount of liquidity to the upside right here. So be careful with, this range again. Now, I think what we need to see here is, I think it's going to be a matter of time before we will see one more big expansion to the upside. And this will probably come from this low right here. Or, I need to look back a little bit here because we have a lot of... Yeah, I think this could be on the 5-minute even. I'll show you why. So, this one... No, I think that this is what we need to break first. I think we're going to fake to the downside potentially. And if you fake to the downside, that we then potentially move along here. So what we're looking for is a breakdown, an internal flip, boom, up, down. Something like that here to eventually build up enough liquidity to the upside right here. Or we already just break up to the upside here. But that's definitely not a trade that I want to take. We want to anticipate on when people get stopped out. So most people will probably get stopped out below here. So that's when I'm entering longs, particularly here, if you could think about that confirmation. So that means that you first let people, get stopped out here. A lot of longs right there below the 54 cents. These people are now out of the market. Then you create some sort of relief bounce. And then from that relief bounce, the pullback of that relief bounce is where I would love to take a trade to the upside. That's when I could trade that expansion if you have built enough liquidity to the upside here. And then at the same time, of course, I would automatically hedge myself or immediately place a short position from the top. Right there. So for now, I do not see a direct trade by the man at this particular moment. The trade has been done, which was right there at 59.3 cents. No need to enter in the middle of the range. Right here in the middle, in the center, the equilibrium. I would wait for an expansion and then look for further continuation down here. Thank you, brother. Good joke, good joke. Okay, Alice. We have Link, we have Solana. And Ricardo says S-A-Y, thanks for short. Okay, Ricardo, thank you for your support, man. Thank you for activity support. I see you, man. Thank you. Okay. Let's see what Maxi is showing us today. S-E-I, all right? Yeah, still pushing hard, but... No, 1 second. Let me confirm this real quick. Yeah, okay. We looked at it on Binance. All right. So new high is broken. But look at the daily candle here. The daily candle is it's not looking good. This is not what you want to see. If you want to see an expansion, you want to see a strong bottom wick. Then you want to see the expansion. This is, this is like a little weasel. This is not strong enough. You need a stronger push to the upside right here. Okay, unless we close above it. But that's going to be a confirmation for later on here. When things get interesting, if you start breaking below it. And the reason why I stick on the daily is because you do not have that much data to look at. You don't have that much previous historical data. It has been extremely bullish so far. So, for that particular reason, in my opinion, let's see if you can break that previous resistance that we flipped into support. And if you come close below it, we might are going for the lows here, coming back towards what we have been building up below here. So that could be a confirmation. So I'm not really interested in looking at the lower time frame for this one. because it just not yet makes really sense here. This is also just a bounce. This could just lead into continuation. You see that rejection here, but where is that expansion that we look for? Where is that aggressive move that we need to see that comes down, that pushback that actually shows that we're reversing on the higher time frame here? The only way to look at it is, let's see if we can come back towards the lower time frame to see what happened here. Well, barely. No, this is just too bullish right now. So not a single confirmation on the higher time frame indicates that we could start looking for shorts right here at this particular moment on SI right here. All right. So let's just wait and see how this candle closes. If it closes below, fantastic. I think this is where you could see potentially the expansion that we're looking for. But that's it. That's I think where the safer entries will come into play here. This is too much guessing. Well, that makes sense, Ricardo. Ahmed says Solana. Yeah, what has been Solana doing? The market cap first, 42 billion. Consolidating, not really looking that weak right now at the moment. Let me quickly go to Solana on BitCat, because that's where I personally trade. Yeah, so okay, we came down. We're trying to flip here. Daily candle, same thing, right? Key resistance is at 106. Let's go to the hourly. Consolidation, expansion, retracement, down, push up, rejection. So that's again. So beautiful, guys. Look at it one more time. We talked about this one previously, by the way. I hope you guys remember it from the stream a couple of days ago, when we had this overall bigger range. You had that massive expansion, and boom, we retraced. We came back to that drop-off point, and this is what tends to happen a lot. Look at that drop-off point right here. This is on the 2 hour. Right there. Boom. Came back towards the zone. And look at what we've seen here. We saw a sell-off of roughly around 20%. 20%. So super clean short. Entry there. Stop loss above. Target. The wick. Obviously you want to see that wick fill. This led into an 8-to-1. Maybe on average a 5-to-1. If you take profits along the way here. So that's fantastic. That's beautiful. Consolidation is now done. The expansion has been done. And what happened was, it came back multiple times here. So it did it again. Okay, it did it again. Then after that, it came back again towards this internal range right now. And we're still looking on the weaker side. Why? Because we still have put in a lower low. We still came up. We're still building up that liquidity to the downside right here. This doesn't smell like, we should long it. This looks like it's kind of, still holding up a little bit here. So what I'm much more interested in right now is to wait for price to break this low, to go to the 15-minute, and then to take a trade from, for example, lower low, lower high, lower low. Something in that matter for Solana. And I think the reason why is because the hype of Solana right now is a little bit done. It's a little bit rested. And therefore, I'm waiting for price to push back up. And I think that a little bit more of a pullback, like I said before, towards the daily zone is where the magic happens right here. So we have that consolidation, expansion, and then that retracement, and then that continuation. That comes then down towards the daily time frame. So therefore, that's kind of what I'm looking for with Solana. A little bit more of a pullback yet. But that's something I would love to trade. For example, when looking at this bigger range overall, that expansion, retracement, and then that continuation to the downside right now, right here. Bitcoin not been moving ever since. We're waiting for that move. Yeah, let's see how that one operates right here. Risk it for the biscuit, you would say. Okay. Couple more as look at that link as well. Of course, the best thing is if we gather these type of setups. I'm gonna add this one to the list, by the way, because Solana is something interesting. Lower low, lower high, and then a lower low, and then this is your entry. By far, it's gonna be on the 10 minutes. It's gonna be right here. Something like that. And then target the lows right here. Something in that manner I'm interested in. But we have to break below this low here before we continue. And you want to see that expansion right there. Okay. Oh, that makes sense. So, yeah. That's gonna be interesting. What I most likely will do here, I'm gonna take this to the YouTube setups and I'm gonna post it all in the setups before as well. So you have exactly this chart, you know, the charts ready. I think this is also something that I should have done earlier, but yeah, we're always here to improve. So that's why it's another reason to join our Discord right now. Get access to the YouTube setups. Everything that we discuss here are going to be played in there. I'm just going to talk about, you know, the trades that they take and all that stuff as well here. So it's important to mention that, you know, you stay updated, especially if you come back to the next day's stream. You know, we are aligning here. Regardless if Bitcoin is ranging or not, there is always something to keep an eye on, especially in the cryptocurrency market right here. All right, so Link. Let's go to Link right now. Let's quickly create a screenshot of Solana. Done. Perfect. Let's go to Link. Bitget. There we go. Man, Link, I'm telling you, Link is gonna kill it this run. I'm telling you guys. Oracles, man. Link has been a sleeping giant and has never showed its true potential in the last run, even, which I think is gonna happen this run. So if you would ask me the question, Lorenzo, what is kind of like your top guess of the top, the bigger currencies out there, then I would say Link is one of my favorites for a lot of different reasons. But that's another story right here. So look at this beautiful range, right? Beautiful consolidation here. That beautiful range right there. Of course, you have that bigger range right now. We're right now trying to hold on here. But the way we're pulling back already is just super, super strong. This was that last low before we broke down. And what did we do? We came back to the 50%. So the weekly 50% right here is extremely bullish and is looking, you know, is still looking holding up very good. You see that the dominance is gaining also a tremendous, you know, potential. Every day I see like Link going up at 5-6%. It's crazy in comparison to the market. Even when the market is coming down, Link is one of these cryptos that is holding up right now very well. And the main reason is because we flipped this into support. So that's also another thing to look at, by the way, which I didn't tell you before. But just simply look at the secondary dominance charts, okay? The Cardano dominance, the BNB dominance, the Bitcoin dominance, the Dogecoin dominance. These charts can be different. If they're different, take advantage of it. Look at it right here, because this is what happened with Link. It flipped into support. And if you go to the Link chart on the weekly time frame, it looks different. There is a massive gap below. So therefore, what happened was, after that, we saw a move of 35%, which is massive for Chainlink right here, especially because it's such a big currency already. Okay, so therefore take that in consideration as well. Now, coming back towards, you know, our levels, what we're looking for right now is the following. Okay, that's what we're seeing right here. It's that, you know, fixed range, that overall range. Let's just draw the range and see what we have here. Okay, so that trade has been done already. Of that bigger range that has been completed. So on the 1 hour chart we have for now, we're above every single level right now. So I think that this is the time to start thinking about a flipping scenario, in my opinion. And that means that what I want to do here is I want to look for a pushback. I love how we've taken out the lows here. Really, really, really nice. Took out the lows. Yeah, what I'm gonna do is the following. So I'm gonna go to the hourly chart. This is one big massive expansion here. It's too late to enter. I don't want to enter short. I don't want to enter a long now. Anything I'm looking for is the point of control here. Coming back towards the point of control, which is going to be there. It's way too low. I'm not seeing a direct trade right now for Link. On the higher time frame though, obviously the next big layer of resistance is going to be at $17. I'm just going to see and wait to see how we react from there. Maybe a rejection point from this range right here, and also see how we react. So if we come back towards this bigger range, maybe we're going to just see a rejection. But I do not see a direct position right now for Link. Cannot be of all of them. You know, not every single, you know, setup is there and giving us that formation here. Will the V3 teach me all the missing terminology and knowledge? Obviously, yes, we have a lot of amazing traders in there, but I highly recommend you to join our crypto VIP for free. All right, the way to do that is to click on the link Get VIP Access, get into our Discord first, then click on the Get Access page right here. You know, fill in your UID. You have to be a partner of us. Therefore, you have to click on the instructions manual, sign up with one of the exchanges, deposit $100. The only thing that we ask you is to sign up with one of these exchanges that we use. I personally use BitGet. You can use them. Deposit $100 on your account. You click on your link, boom. Sign up for your deposit bonus. Start trading and following our signals. It's optional. You don't have to follow our signals. Our signals are profitable though. But that's something that you can do. Obviously, I've created a full-on course as well that you can join. So it's a free course. Otherwise, you're going to give money to exchanges. Give us a piece of the pie, man. Fair and square, all right? Normal course is worth $500. The signal groups are $100 a month. We don't ask for anything else than just signing up with these exchanges right here. All right. What else do we have here? Lorenzo brother, Ape USDT going like you analyzed last week. Okay, I will look at Ape, my friend. I like that, by the way. I like that that overall, you know, that makes sure that shows that you're listening, man. I love it. Thank you, Levi. Or Levi, sorry. Thank you. So what was it? I don't know why I don't see it anymore. Is it on Binance? Let me quickly see if that's what's happening. Yeah. Point of control, fantastic. That's a great start here. Okay. So we came back fantastically on the dot to the point of control. How do we call this, guys? We call this the magic touch, right? The magic touch. LTA concepts, the magic touch right here. Okay. Consolidation, expansion, retracement. Fantastico. Now the lower time frame. A beautiful lower low. Beautiful lower low. Right here. Okay. Breaking the low. Fantastically. Coming back towards that range right here. Now we have a smaller range underneath a bigger range. So we had that rejection. If you didn't enter on the point of control, no worries. Because now we have a new range right here. Our goal is still to drive price back towards this particular bigger range right here. Like I said before, we're ranging. We're trading from range to range. At this particular moment, you can see that, you know, this is now where we want to go to. So obviously people are going to enter here. Why? Because you flip previous resistance or previous support into resistance. Their stop losses are going to be there. Then these guys are going to get stopped out. Then you think about entering. So the first entry will be, now we have a gap there. So we can't enter for the value area low. We have to go to the point of control. We have a gap. So we want to enter as high as possible within that range, which is going to be around the 1.616. You come up. You wait for that fill and you wait for a closure below. You enter. You target the lows. This goes hand in hand with an area of supply. Not to enter from, but to put your stop loss above here. So you have then this one right here. You have this one right here. And then you target the top of that range, which is going to be right there. So now you have that confirmation setup. That initial setup played out. That's on the 4 hour. So now, you know, with that confirmation, you want to calm down. And that's perfectly done because that brings you back towards the 4 hour area of the month right here. So that would be ideal, right? You push up, you get rejected internally, you calm down, you fill up that gap, and then you can start thinking about a continuation to the upside due to the fact that the higher time frame, you know, potentially can fill up that gap completely, come up towards a bigger range right here. And then you have this particular low, that high, that push up, and that could lead into a new next leg to the upside right here. So yeah, waiting for that reaction here. Okay. Fantastic. So thank you for sharing, Levi. Amazing. Waiting for the reaction. I'm gonna add this one. So this is like on the 5 minute. 1616. Let me mark it out here. Download image. Boom. Done. We have Alice. Alice, yes sir. Okay, Beam. TRB. Okay, Beam and TRB, and then we do Alice. And Myro as well, yeah. Oh yeah, Alice, okay, wow. Beam, one of the most promising gaming infrastructures in a gaming narrative. So if you're interested in the gaming narrative, Beam is on, you know, should be on top of your list, in my opinion, right? This is up to you. Weekly closure above would be great. Yeah, we're getting rejected though. And the weekly time frame, this last candle right here, or this week here, you can see already. What are we not seeing? Let me know in the chat here. What are we not seeing here? Let me know in the chat. I'm waiting. What are we not seeing here on this chart here? This is the weekly time frame. Okay, I want to hear it in the chat here. Lorenzo, bro, can you please explain your method of entry? So my method of entry is, yeah, I will show you. I've showed you already many times before, but I will do it again. Okay, no bottom wick. Yeah, exactly. So, you know, you are indeed above weekly resistance. That's fantastic. The problem now is though, that first of all, this doesn't show a bottom wick. So that's already not really nice. All these previous highs right here have been proven to put us down moments probably before the weekly closure. So like look at the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. And therefore, you know, look at that rejection here. So this is not where you want to go long. This is not where you want to go long here whatsoever. This is not looking really nice. This is nicer. This is looking much better to enter from. The 16744 here on the higher time frame. So if you go into the 4 hour, then we look at the highs. Okay, so okay, we took out this high, we took out this high, we took out the highs before. This is the high that's interesting. So what happened around that high here is, of course, like we said before here, a rejection. No bottom wick. It's important to mention that. So we might do the exact same thing right now for Beam. So therefore, now we kind of have a smaller range. This is beautiful. The reason why is because the high was broken and that higher high created a lower low. So we know that this is kind of the top. Now we have a nice area, a nice clean range to look at. Now we can draw the fixed zone profile. Any gaps? No gaps, except a very small one around the point of control. So that's where you want to enter from, not the value area low. And then your stop loss will be around above the previous high. Target, you could say, you could aim potentially for a lower low here, like a candle flip, potentially. But again, the 19711 is that weekly support. So where is the 19711? That's right here. So that's a 5-to-1 on your money. If you can get there, then that's a 5-to-1. Not even thinking about, you know, the actual flip here yet. This is just that weekly support. So it's a beautiful, yeah, it shows a lot of potential here when you look at it, just by, you know, looking at the way it's setting up here. So you want to come back down and get rejected and then push down here. So beautiful range, the 4-hour, no bottom wick, retracement coming back down, and we might flip bearish here. This is probably where a lot of big players take profit over and over again. They wait for price to come to these levels here, and they unleash their bags, and then, you know, again and again and again. So that's something that you could take, you know, you could benefit from. I think this is definitely something to look at. So I do like it. I do like it as an opportunity. So keep a close eye on it here. It's important that all of these ones here, the moment it comes to your point of interest, you want to confirm what the overall sentiment is here. Okay, I think that's also important to mention. But again, that is great. So we did beam. We have TRB left. Yeah, TRB and then Alice right here. Okay, TRB. But overall, a lot of good setups today. I see potential. I see potential. I like the way we're moving. So that's great. It's good to see here. All right, so TRB did it, finally. It did it, it did it, it did it. Didn't we talk about it? Where was it again? Let me quickly look at it here. Yeah, we're right now in that zone. Okay, so TRB came back down towards this this low. The bigger range was key right here. And look at what we did. We came back towards the point of control. That's it. As easy as it gets. Point of control. We had a bunch of liquidity build up here. And now we're breaking out. So what was again the same thing here? It was that consolidation, massive expansion, and then due to the retracement, we started to build liquidity. And that's the breakout. That's the 3 steps that you want to see. These are like the highest probability setups that I'm always looking for. Now we have to wait for price to push back down because there's no way you can be entering FOMO here. Why? Long term, it's not sustainable. You're gonna enter here. Fantastic. Where is gonna be your stop loss? Right here? Okay. Safe stop loss, I agree. What is your target? Right there. All right, this might turn into a 3-to-1. But again, if you wait for that retracement, you now have a 7-to-1 on your money right here. This is just by being more patient right there, waiting for retracement to come. Now you have a 7-to-1, potentially turn it into an 8-to-1 right here. Now you can be wrong 7 times. You hit 1 and you break even. How can you be losing if that's the case here? If you understand sentiment, if you understand risk management, if you understand risk to reward. That's why I'm not a big fan of entering in the middle of a range when it's not necessary. When it doesn't get there, it doesn't get there. Whatever. Look for another one. So, okay, beautiful. Wait for that retracement, maybe look for a pullback. And I think this will align as well with this range that we create right now. And that's gonna be right here. Something like something in that matter. So value area high. But this looks amazing. Any pullback here is absolutely key. Absolutely fantastic. Stop loss below the lows and you target this massive gap that we have created here. Massive gap created right there. That's an amazing fill. Fill up. Why? Because again, keep in mind, this was it's 80% dump. We came back to that range. We're now trying to come out of this lake here. To break that liquidity that we have building up here. We retrace, we push up. We're going for that gap. Any retracement now to the $140 is where our entries, where it gets interesting. This is where you want to look for. TRB is looking very good. Very good. Thank you for sharing. Looks like a great setup. So thank you, bro. Thank you. Appreciate it. Really, really clean. Boom. Okay. The minimum right now we're looking for is 3-to-1 on our money. Okay, so especially in crypto, I really like 3-to-1s. Right? That means that on average, if my average is like a 4-to-1, 5-to-1, particularly on average, the minimum is a 3-to-1. If my average is a 5-to-1, I'm very happy. That means I can be wrong 4 times. I can be right 1 time, potentially break even, if not make more money. If it turns into a runner. That's the way the game to play. Especially in crypto, I've noticed that that's working for me the best. But it also depends on, of course, your strategy. If you are a scalper, then of course that's mainly not interesting for you enough. But for us as day traders right here, is by far the most beneficial. Because what tends to happen in crypto, and especially when you're looking for long setups, you could easily turn one of these trades into a runner, if that makes sense here. So therefore, it doesn't make sense to go for, the really low risk to reward setups here. Because, if you just get 1 right out of 5 trades, then you break even for sure. But maybe you turn it into a runner, so maybe you make profit. So when looking at Discord, let's imagine that more trades do not play out here. Don't worry about it. You will, probably, be still good here. Tim, for example, his average risk reward is like a 5-to-1 plus. He is right more than 50%. That's where you want to go. That's like the sweet spot. That's where you actually eventually, wanna go towards to. But it gets very hard to be unprofitable if you follow these metrics. That's it. Very, very hard. When you understand sentiment, risk management, you have a strategy. You understand risk to reward, and you are patient. Okay, Arvin says, please, can you look at Alice waiting for shorts? Arvin, my man, also to you, bro. Thank you for your support. I see you on the channel. I see you're very active. Also in the chat right here. This is exactly what we need right now. So I really do appreciate you, man. Keep it up. Much love to you, bro. Let's look at Alice indeed. Should I wait until I become profitable in Forex before jumping on crypto? The train is gonna go, guys. The train in crypto is gonna go. We all know it. We know that the Bitcoin halving is coming along here. This is a catalyst where you can take, you have to prepare yourself right now. This is the moment. This is where the winners are created right now. Not later, right now, because you still need some preparation. You cannot just go in blindly, and when the market is absolutely booming, that's when you join the ride, because that's where you already want to be positioned. You want to be understanding of what your strategy is, how you approach the market. You want to have a game plan ready. This is what we do together. We're creating a game plan. The only thing that we're doing now is we're trading a lot due to the fact that we're waiting. We're in that bigger consolidation range right now. So trading is extremely beneficial. So we cannot, sit still. We have to do something. But when things are running, obviously, this is where you want to be completely involved here. So I do not recommend to wait for Forex. I highly recommend to join our crypto And to be aware also for this and prepare yourself. It's up to you. You know, this is where generational wealth gets created if you do it right. This is how you can escape from reality in a bubble here. The money printer is going to go on soon again. All right. And when they start printing again, you bet it's going to flow into crypto. Okay, Alice right here. Okay, weekly resistance right now. We saw that reaction here. This is already like 3 weeks ago, so rejection. We came back beautiful towards this weekly as well here. We're holding up very strong. There, we're in the middle of that range. Okay, so this initial range held up. We're building something big. Okay. Lower low, higher high, higher low. Building liquidity here. Okay, on the lower time frame, it gets more interesting here. On the higher time frame, moi. On the lower time frame, this would have been a short from the okay, the point of control missed the value area low. You have that gap here, the right in that gap, that volume gap right there. One second. Okay, this was that last internal high before that major drop-off points. This is super important. This is that last high that created a break of this high, this low, of this low, of this low. So when it comes back, you see every single time, most of the time you see that when it comes back here, the people that were long here got trapped. What has happened then is that people, when it comes back, close their position. Shorters know that, they enter short there. So then you kind of get that double confirmation. That would have been the trade. That would have been a trade, and it would give you the opportunity to take out the liquidity to the downside and then to target this particular range right here. That could still be in place or in play right here. So now you kind of have to look at this high. This is a lower low. So the only thing that we can kind of look for right now is let's see. Yeah, this one right here, man. 1.2415. Something like this here. Waiting for that reaction here, waiting for the push up, and then boom. Continuation down. Target is still clear, lower low is created. Yeah, it could be nice, man. It could be a nice trade. Short here, stop loss above here. And then target, yeah, this could be a big one, by the way. This could be a big trade if you actually expand. One more time, where's that weekly support here? Weekly support is sitting around this level. So, and the weekly support is right there. So there is potential. Now look at it, you can also just wait for that reaction, put your stop loss a little bit safer. The risk reward is just big enough. So you can always come back into that level, put your stop loss above it, and then target the lows right here. So that means stop loss above the highs at 126 here. There is a chance you're gonna get rejected here, but I doubt it. I think this is where the volume increased significantly. So 124.514. If that makes sense here. Okay. What is the most profit you made in one trade? So yeah, Gavin and I, all right, we have been degens before. So we have made over 6 figures in a trade before. But you should ask me also, how much did I lose? That's also a very good question to ask. How much have I lost lost in one specific trade? Similar to that. Okay, just gonna be honest here. So that's also part of the game here. The longer I trade, the more I'm actually focusing on risk management. The less of a degen I am, and the more I understand that you don't need to be a degen in order to make money. If you apply risk management, your risk reward is on point. You understand the sentiment of the market, and you act patiently without having any form of FOMO whatsoever. So, yeah, I also lost a lot of money. Okay, that's important to mention as well. But I made more than I lost eventually. Okay. Took me around 3.5 years though. So let's see what else we have. We have Atom, TRX, and HBAR, and I think that's it for today, guys. I think we have a bunch of setups today, so we don't have to look further here. We have a really nice clean list. The Bitcoin entries are still in. I have a short at 45.7 and 44.6k, around a $15,000 short. So you know, my stop loss is 0, but it's an isolated trade here. Okay, so that means that, you know, whatever it happens. I have a liquidation price roughly sitting around the $47,000, a little bit higher, 47.2. That's still in place here, and we're waiting for price to push up. If it never comes up, it is what it is. But at least that's where my entries are placed for Bitcoin. We have a bunch of really nice clean setups right now. Also, Polkadot is still there. So let's do 2 more charts. I think that's enough for today here. Tron and Adam. And yeah, let's just do Tron first. All right. Clean. This is on the 3 daily. Yeah, this is a major rejection here. So this is where you have to be careful when looking at consolidation, expansion, retracement, especially if you are in a top and you're right in a zone right here, right in that weekly area of supply here. So that's where I would be extremely cautious right now at the moment. So yeah, this is a fantastic range, but I don't want to short it right now. You're in a big range here. I don't want to long it. Maybe here, but again, be careful. Regards to the weekly resistance right here. What I would do personally is I would wait for a lower low. Really break the lows that put in the highs. And start taking it like day by day, like very easily. Start looking for further continuation to the downside right here. This might take, you know, a couple more days whatsoever. I do not think it's smart to start looking for longs. Maybe this one, maybe this low, like take like a trade from there. But I'm much more interested in an actual breakdown first. And then waiting for price to push back. And if it never pushes back, then you can always turn this bigger range into new resistance right here. So if you break down, you can turn this into resistance, and then you have your trade right there, if that makes sense. So they have this overall bigger range right here. And then it's always, you know, about leveraging that again, if that makes sense. Therefore, you know, you can either wait for price to push back down and then push up, come back towards this range, or push down much deeper, don't come down, but then wait for that retracement there and look for that retracement to the downside right here. Okay. Last one real quick. Are we trim long? Or we had ADAM. Yes, ADAM indeed. Let's look at ADAM real quick. Okay. Yeah, consolidation there, beautiful range, fantastic reaction. We came towards this high, okay. Yeah, this is not looking. Yeah, this is beautiful. This is what I mean. You reach daily resistance, you come back, boom, point of value area low, rejection, bum, trade. That's it. Entry right away, value area low, stop loss, point of control, target. The lows right here. That's your trade right there. Beautiful. Now you have that liquidity building. You're starting to break down here. Now you cannot look for a trade, in my opinion. The last thing you can look for, even on the 15 minute, by the way, or sorry, on the 1 hour, look at what happened here. So similar, right? It happens over and over again. Your initial trade was already at the value area high. Your second trade can be right here, stop loss above the high, still targeting the lows. Now you're in two positions right here. So you had the value area low right there. You had this one. Stop loss above the highs. You target the lows. You have a second trade right here. So you can start scaling your trading setups right here. That's a beautiful explanation of scalability. Okay, we've seen a major expansion. But again, we already had that retracement. So this is where we saw a major expansion. This was that retracement. That was your third entry right there. So that's the third entry. So you can really start scaling it right now. Now we're building that liquidity. Now we are kind of, you know, holding on here. I think we're a little bit too late now. I think we're a little bit too late. What we need to see first is a massive expansion to the downside or whatever. And then you can start thinking about a retracement and then a continuation to the downside. If we were still trading below the point of control. If you come above it, of course, you can flip it into support to look for continuation. Now we're below it. So therefore, I think that you can still, you know, look for that one more expansion. So it requires more patience one more time here. Right now, the most of the entries, in my opinion, have passed. If you want to take to 5 minutes, you can. But again, this has been filled already. Maybe this one right here is interesting. If you manage to get up there all the way, that could be an interesting one to look at based upon, you know, this particular zone. But that's also quite far still to the upside right here. And it's a 4% move. So that means that you then have to, you know, you break out and you wait for the retracement. I think it's much more interesting if you wait for price to push back in towards this high again. And if that happens, then, you know, you get an alert and you see how we perform from there. Okay. Beautiful, guys. Okay. Can we short SEI one more time? Last one. We talked about this right here. So, you know, like we said before, we're still trading above that resistance. We're extremely bullish right now. There are no indications yet that we should be shorting from here. Okay, so this high, yes, you might see a rejection here, but it's, in my opinion, looking too strong. Why? Because you see this particular bigger range, you had that expansion retracement, and now this could turn into a higher high here, stopping you out here. I would not do it. I would not do it. Okay. So I hope that makes sense right now at the moment here. A bunch of new setups. I have been downloading all of them right here. I'm going to make sure that, you know, we can utilize them and we can talk about what's currently happening in the market right here. Like I said before, to close off the stream, I'm still in two short limit orders. One at 45.7 and one at 44.6. Okay. Hope that makes sense here. Tomorrow, I will be probably trading 4x. Friday, I'm going to be back for you guys regardless here. If tomorrow magically something happens here, you know, we might be doing an emergency stream, okay? In case we see a bigger breakout, because we do not want to miss out on that move, of course. Very importantly, right here. Okay. Yeah, thank you guys so much. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the love here. An amazing session here. Hope you learned something today as well. Even when the market is consolidating, the idea is to be here, to show up every single day, because at some point we just have these setups occurring. Boom, they play out. You missed out on it. Secondary, you learned something. Most importantly, when price is moving, you are prepared. And that's all that matters, okay? So thank you guys so much for today's session. Beautiful 1.5 hours of streaming. As always, make sure you smash up that like button right here. Place a comment if you like this video. And also, if you're new, make sure you press that subscribe button. And we're gonna get there, guys. We're gonna blow this shit off through the roof. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye, guys. Ciao.